everything that the president is saying is very carefully calibrated as a message to Russia. Certainly it's a message to the Ukrainians, but also, Biden has to be very wary of his domestic constituency, a domestic constituency that for the last 20 years has had Americans at war abroad and is really not interested in any sort of involvement of American troops in any sort of other conflict. Biden obviously has come out and said that he has no intention of putting U.S. troops on the ground.
And Paul, we see the president there. He's literally walking out, so let's go to him now, the president of the United States.
Today, I'd like to provide an update on the crisis involving Russia and Ukraine. From the beginning of this crisis, I have been absolutely clear and consistent. The United States is prepared no matter what happens. We are ready with diplomacy to be engaged in diplomacy with Russia and our allies and partners to improve stability and security in Europe as a whole. And we are ready to respond decisively to Russian attack on Ukraine, which is still very much a possibility. For all the events of the last few weeks and months, this has been our approach, and it remains our approach now. So today I want to speak to the American people about the situation on the ground, the steps we've taken, the actions we're prepared to take, and what's at stake for us and the world, and how this may impact on us here at home. For weeks now, together with our allies and partners, my administration has engaged in non-stop diplomacy.
Totally.
This weekend, I spoke again with President Putin to make clear that we are ready.
Diplomacy in the form of lethal aid, boys.
Diplomacy to reach written understandings among Russia, the United States, and the nations of Europe.
My favorite type of diplomacy, lead.
That's his wish. Their security concerns and ours. President Putin and I agreed that our team should continue to engage toward this end, along with our European allies and partners. Yesterday, the Russian government publicly proposed to continue the diplomacy. I agree. We should give the diplomacy.
They didn't just propose that yesterday. They proposed that for the past 3 months, dude. They've literally been only saying that. For the record, they've been saying that over and over again. Hey, nobody wants an invasion. Please, don't fucking hear our demands. Do not put Ukraine in NATO.
New strategic stability measures. These measures would apply to all parties, NATO and Russia alike. We're willing to make practical, result-oriented steps that can advance our common security. We will not sacrifice basic principles, though. Nations have a right to sovereignty and territorial integrity. They have the freedom to set their own course and choose with whom they will associate. But that still leaves plenty of room for diplomacy and for de-escalation. That's the best way forward for all parties, in our view. We'll continue our diplomatic efforts in close consultation with our allies and our partners. As long as there is hope of diplomatic resolution that prevents the use of force and avoids incredible human suffering that would follow, we will pursue it. The Russian defense minister reported today that some military units are leaving their positions near Ukraine. That would be good, but we have not yet verified that. We have not yet verified the Russian military units are returning to their home bases. Indeed, our analysts indicate that they remain very much in a threatening position. And the fact remains, right now, Russia has more than 150,000 troops encircling Ukraine and Belarus and along Ukraine's border. An invasion remains distinctly possible. That's why I've asked several times that all Americans in Ukraine leave now before it's too late to leave safely.
He's still doing it. He's like, no. We're doing diplomacy, but like, come on, dude. But like, war is pretty pog. Like, it could happen. You know what I mean? It can still happen. Come on, Russia! Give us this one fucking thing, man! Why don't you just invade? Do a little invasion! Just a little bit!
About Russia's plans and the seriousness of the situation.
You're really fucking this up right now, Russia. Do a little bit of invasion. Just a little bit. We're out here talking about fucking memes, dude.
Be equally clear about
we're out here stuck saying memes are the reason why we need $500 million worth of weapons.
Ukraine is not threatening Russia. Neither the U.S. nor NATO have missiles in Ukraine. We do not have plans to put them there as well. We're not targeting the people of Russia. We do not seek to destabilize Russia. To the citizens of Russia, you are not our enemy. And I do not believe you want a bloody, destructive war against Ukraine, a country and a people with whom you share such deep ties of family, history, and culture. 77 years ago, our people fought and sacrificed side by side to end the worst war in history. World War II was a war of necessity. But if Russia attacks Ukraine, it would be a war of choice, or a war without cause or reason. I say these things not to provoke, but to speak the truth, because the truth matters. Accountability matters. If Russia does invade in the days and weeks ahead, the human cost for Ukraine will be immense. And the strategic cost for Russia will also be immense. If Russia attacks Ukraine, it'll be met with overwhelming international condemnation. The world will not forget that Russia chose needless death and destruction. Invading Ukraine will prove to be a self-inflicted wound. The United States and our allies and partners will respond decisively.
Dog, that's literally like is he like plagiarizing Putin now? What the fuck? This is exactly what fucking Vladimir Putin was saying.
Unified and determined as it has ever been. And the source of our unbreakable
This is the
strength
exact same
continues to be
fucking thing that the
power,
Russian government has been saying for the
resilience,
past
and universal appeal
literal fucking
of our
past 2
shared
months now.
democratic values. Because this is about more than just Russia and Ukraine. It's about standing for what we believe in, for the future we want for our world, for liberty, the right of countless countries to choose their own destiny, and the right of people to determine their own futures, for the principle that a country can't change its neighbor's borders by force. That's our vision.
Yeah, that's our. He's like, that's our job. He's like, that's our job. Countries can change their borders only by force if we do it.
We will rally the world.
Damn, bro, dude, I can't believe you just said that. Golan Heights.
Are ready to impose powerful sanctions.
I don't know, Israeli territory now. Golan Heights, Israeli territory. That's kind of crazy.
We did not pursue when Russia invaded Crimea in eastern Ukraine in 2014. We put intense pressure on their largest and most significant financial institutions and key industries. These measures are ready to go as soon and if Russia moves. We'll impose long-term consequences that will undermine Russia's ability to compete economically and strategically. And when it comes to Nord Stream 2, the pipeline that would bring natural gas from Russia to Germany, if Russia further invades Ukraine, it will not happen. While I will not send American
dude, they're so bitch made.
We have supplied the Ukrainian military with equipment to help them defend themselves. We provided training and advice and intelligence for the same purpose. And make no mistake, the United States will defend every inch of NATO territory with the full force of American power. An attack against one NATO country is an attack against all of us. And the United States' commitment to Article 5 is sacrosanct. Already, in response to Russia's buildup of troops, I've sent additional U.S. forces to bolster NATO's eastern flank. Several of our allies have also announced they'll add forces and capabilities to ensure deterrence and defense along NATO's eastern flank. We will also continue to conduct military exercises with our allies and partners to enhance defensive readiness. And if Russia invades, we'll take further steps to reinforce our presence in NATO, reassure us for our allies, and deter further aggression. To be clear, if Russia decides to invade, that would also have consequences here at home. But the American people understand that defending democracy and liberty is never without cost. This is a cause that unites Republicans and Democrats. And I want to thank the leaders and members of Congress of both parties who've forcefully spoken out in defense of our most basic, most bipartisan, most American principles. I will not pretend this will be painless. There could be impact on our energy prices. So we are taking active steps to alleviate the pressure on our own energy markets and offset raising prices. We're coordinating with major energy consumers and producers. We're prepared to deploy all the tools and authority at our disposal to provide relief at the gas pump. And I'll work with Congress on additional measures to help protect consumers and address the impact of prices at the pump. We are not seeking direct confrontation with Russia, though I've been clear that if Russia targets Americans in Ukraine, we will respond forcefully. And if Russia attacks the United States or our allies through asymmetric means, like disruptive cyber attacks against our companies or critical infrastructure, we are prepared to respond. But we're moving in lockstep with our NATO allies and partners to deepen our collective defense against threats in cyberspace. Two paths are still open. For the sake of historic responsibility, Russia and the United States share for global stability, for the sake of our common future, to choose diplomacy. But let there be no doubt, if Russia commits this breach by invading Ukraine, responsible nations around the world will not.
Do not worry, Connor East Pants. This will not delay the new Kirby game.
Do not stand for freedom.
Connor, don't worry. I literally fucking hit up Vlad. I hit up Vlad and I was like, listen, motherfucker, I love you. You're sexy as fuck, okay? But also, Elden Ring's coming out. There's a lot of new games coming out finally. Like, we've had basically just desert-like conditions in the video gaming space for a while now. If you fucking invade Ukraine right now, I will never forgive you. And he was like, I'm suka bliat, I'm sorry. Hasan, you are my greatest. He says, you are my greatest warrior. And that's why Allah gave you the toughest challenges. That's what he said. He thinks I'm Chechen. You know, white Muslim guy, not a big deal. He's like, Hasan, you are my greatest warrior in America. I will listen to you. So, you know, I just, I stopped it because I wanted to play the fucking video games that are coming out.
U.S. and other countries around the world will pay a steeper price. With me right now, national security reporter Paul Son. As also, we see John Hudson and Rhonda Colvin. Welcome to you all. Paul, let's talk about the message President Biden delivered. It really was multifold in that he had a message to the American people.
Yeah, bro, Putin is such a great guy. Dude, you know I'm memeing, right? Like, I don't think Putin is a good guy at all. I hope you know that. And I also don't, I am not a Russian state agent. Like, I know that some people are just like incapable of understanding humor and jokes, but this is me taking a step back, and instead of taking this shit super seriously, as I have for the past couple of months, picture of your negotiations with Putin. That's right. This is how I stopped it. War was fucking imminent, and I stopped it, dude. How many knife kills do you think Putin racked up back in the day? I don't know, but hey, let's hear let's hear what the fucking blob has to say. By the way, because you know they were horny as fuck.
Consequences to the American population in taking significant sanctions and financial measures against Russia. That's a new message coming from Biden. I think he's trying to tell people that if some of these actions that they're considering are taken against Russia, there will probably be blowback, particularly on the Europeans, but also potentially on Americans in the energy market. And I think what he's trying to communicate to the Kremlin is just because there will be blowback, don't think that I'm not ready to do this.
We'll dig more into what the president said in just a moment. But Paul, before I let you go, you've been reporting on how TikTok, social media has been revealing what's really happening on the ground. We hear one thing, but then these images that are sent out and shared on social media are revealing much more.
Wait, what? Yeah, as in like what? That it's fucking blown out of proportion by the media that is like straight up just repeating, fucking State Department propaganda hook, line, and sinker by anonymous sources within the State Department? That's what is that what that's revealing? Because that's what it's been revealing. What it's also revealed to me is that I have a lot of fucking idiots in my audience that 100% would have been like, no, Iraq is different. No, Afghanistan is different. No, you don't understand. Vietnam is different. No, like look to World War II. Korea is different. No, you don't understand. Iran-Contra is different. It's always different. It's like, oh, yo, like that's what this is. That's what's going on. Unsubbed for the React content beef. What? What? One more MasterChef episode after Pokemon? Bro, you are literally the scummiest of scumbags. First of all, this is not a fucking airport, okay? You don't have to fucking announce your departure. And secondly, you are the reason why I watch MasterChef. It's little fucking MasterChef babies like you. And I don't have a problem with watching MasterChef. I want to make good content. I want to make you guys enjoy the shit that we're doing. But like, for you to fucking come in here, constantly fucking yell about MasterChef when I'm playing video games, only to fucking turn around and be like, unsub for React content, bro, fuck off, dude. Here, take some time off to reconsider your jokes. You literally are like, watch MasterChef, stop playing video games, and then you fucking turn around and you're like, oh, I'm unsubbing. Anyway, let's continue.
That we are now at 150,000 Russian troops, according to U.S. intelligence. But he also made very clear that he is pursuing a diplomatic solution and trying to get written responses, which was, of course, that was the preferred format of the Russians. They were the ones who started asking the United States for a written proposal in a written response to their demands that they laid out. Now the United States is in a position where we are waiting for a Russian response, and that is exactly what Secretary of State Antony Blinken conveyed to Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov earlier today. And so besides preparing the American public for a diplomatic resolution, which he couldn't guarantee, but he said he was working towards. He was also seemed to be appealing to the Russian public in a way that we haven't really heard before. He made a reference to the sort of kinship between the.
Bro, remember, like, remember the people whenever I was like, Russia is not going to invade Ukraine. Okay, remember when I told you Russia is not going to invade Ukraine because they do not have the economic incentive? That would be fucking psychotic. And everyone said, oh, well, what if Putin is just a crazy guy? Like, that's how you know. When you start saying like, well, what if the guy that is leading an entire fucking nation is just crazy and not acting out of like in a rational way? That's when you've already lost the fucking argument. You're not like looking at it. You're not actually analyzing the situation at all. You're just now saying, well, what if he's just a villain and he wants to do murders and he thinks it's poggers? Like, you can't do that. Why is there troops then? First and foremost, Russia always has fucking troops at its border to the tune of like around 80,000. This number and this military, this troop exercise at the border thing happens every fucking year, okay? Around this time, every year. And America, for the first time ever, greatly improved the fucking propaganda, greatly beefed up the propaganda this time around when it's been happening every fucking year. Rational actor theory. I mean, you can't say that like someone is an irrational actor. You can't do fucking foreign policy analysis like that. The troops are there to flex and put pressure on Ukraine to implement a Minsk deal that's more favorable towards Russian interests. Yes, 100%. Like, just because someone is a bloodthirsty fucking autocrat doesn't mean that they're actually going to fucking operate in a completely irrational capacity. Even if they have a proclivity towards irrational behavior, you can't fucking add that into your analysis. Like, you're doing, armchair psychology. You're playing armchair psychology. It's a very classic way that the American government and the mainstream media gets you on board with going to fucking war. Oh, dude, well, they're crazy. Like, they're crazy guys. They're mad lads. You got to fucking do something. We got to be even more mad.
That showed that, look, we are ready for a diplomatic path.
Actually, just making shit up. You're unbelievable. This is what America bad brain rot does to a motherfucker. Dude, let me explain something to you, okay? Let me explain something to you, and then I'm going to ban you most likely because this seems like a fucking sock account, okay? One, I'm right. And for some weird reason, all the mainstream media sources got this incredibly wrong. Shocking, okay? And two, I'm not making anything up. If anything, it is the American government the American State Department that has routinely and consistently made shit up. Okay? And they've made shit up over and over and over again. And for some reason, they suffer zero repercussions of that. I don't know how, I don't know why, I don't know when, but they're just not, they're not getting in trouble for lying regularly. It's very strange.
Are the demands that Russia is going to want to see met going to be demands that the international community, the United States, and NATO are willing to meet or even talk about? That's what we don't know at this point.
So we expect to see the White House briefing in just a few moments, Sean, and you will be there, as I understand. We heard some questions shouted out to the president that he did not answer before he left the East Room. One of them was about...
You just said they improved their propaganda all of a sudden. That's making shit up, bro. In 2018, the United States government or the United States State Department tried to do a similar thing, talking about, they do this every year. They do these military exercises every year. The American government does talk about it regularly, about like Russia invading Ukraine potentially. These past couple of months were the first time since 2014 where the American government and the American media was hyper focused on it in a way where it was like unreasonable. It was like wall-to-wall coverage regularly, okay? That's true. If you look at the fear-mongering in 2018 versus the fear-mongering right now, the fear-mongering right now was so aggressive. Okay? The fear-mongering this time around was completely way more aggressive. My personal perspective on this, and this is speculative, this is the speculative part of my analysis, is because of Biden's poll numbers. I think that they are idiotic, out-of-touch liberals who think that this will probably draw attention away from Biden's failed domestic policies at home. Okay? Like, look, we're not pussies. Like, we withdrew out of Afghanistan, but we're still bullying fucking, our foreign adversaries. Look at me. I'm fucking flexing my might. Like, I promise. Look at that. And it was a good opportunity for them to like make it seem like they were deliberately saber rattling a little bit with Russia, a foreign adversary. And if fucking war does end up happening, if Russia does end up fucking invading Ukraine, great. That's awesome for America. Are you kidding me? That's fucking brilliant for America, because not for the American citizens, obviously, but it's great for the American government, okay? The defense contractors make money. You sell fucking arms to Ukraine. You sell more arms to Ukraine. You justify Ukraine becoming a part of NATO. You know what I mean? And you cripple a foreign adversary. You weaken Russia dramatically, because now Russia has Afghanistan and its own fucking borders. So... And the same argument could be made on the other side. Just when domestically Russians are super pissed off about pensions, Putin happens to apply pressure more than usual at the border. Fair. I think that's totally fair. I'm not even kidding. I think that is absolutely totally fucking fair as well. Because war for every government, your view is oversimplified. Yeah. Every single person that says your view is oversimplified literally will turn around and be like, no, it's actually because Vladimir Putin is evil. Like, I'm the one who's at least looking deeper into what kind of genuine interests a government might have historically and in contemporary society when they take actions against a foreign adversary. You want to approach it like a fucking cartoon villain. Oh no, it's because because Putin is a cartoon villain. He's going Joker mode. You know what I mean? And that's why. Look at their logs in January. Alex Jones was talking about Epstein before he got trendy. Laugh is for racists. Motherfuckers trolling you like you're top 0.01% and the rest of us are working at McDonald's. How did this guy go from that to this? Anyway, I don't know. Anyway, so... yeah, I mean, the Russian bounty shit was bullshit. Like, yeah, that was a fucking fake news story. It doesn't matter. Like, the Russian government does this kind of fake bullshit too. okay? You're gonna be sorry with your I was right bullshit. What happens when we get the news that Russia invaded the ad at the end of the hour? Honestly, man, do better with your analysis. Fuck you. Fuck you. Oh, shit. Okay, dude, look at this. Hasan, right now, it was wrong of you to be concerned about this thing that would be terrible if it happened and has a non-0% chance of happening. Now pay me to do your thinking. Wow, that's a really interesting fucking way to look at a situation where you're clearly in the fucking wrong and you were unironically duped by warmongering propaganda, and instead of fucking doing some self-examination, you decided to spin it into, well, it was normal for us to be fearful of this thing. Yeah. I'm fairly new here. Does HasanAbi ever accept other opinions? Yes. Anyway, the only opinions I accept are at the top of the hour, though, when there's a 60-second ad break. And I tell you, you can avoid those ads as long as you subscribe. You can subscribe for $5 or you can subscribe for free with the Twitch Prime if you don't have $5. Or you can get gifted a sub if you're lucky. You know? Here's the 1 minute ad break now. What the fuck do people think accepting new opinions looks like? I was so concerned. I needed to monger war. Is a normal reaction to being scared, obviously. Yeah. Gaucho Marx, thank you for the 5 gifted. Have you already covered dumb Bolsonaro fans saying he did stop the conflict when he was on a plane? I did not see that, but this is funny. Yeah, Putin. Putin warns the Communist Party, the Marxist-Leninist dogma is destroying the United States. Yeah, that's the other beautiful part about this. Like, motherfuckers will be like, dude, you love Vladimir Putin. Like, you love Vladimir Putin. Like, they think I think that Russia is still, like, communist or something. You know what I mean? When, you know, it's very fucking obvious that they're not. Wait, why did Lake McGroove clap this guy? Oh, he was saying, how does Putin's dick taste? U.S. not moving any troops into Ukraine. This is not about Russia or U.S. This is about Putin fearing Ukraine becoming successful after revolution. Putin wants to teach us a lesson. Talking as a Ukrainian currently in Kiev, Putin cares only about his personal future. We don't give a fuck about joining NATO if Russia stops being aggressive. Wait, so I oversimplified it because I didn't think that like Putin is a bad guy who just wants to fucking you know, who just wants to invade to teach Ukraine a lesson? That's incredible stuff. So why did they stop, even though Ukraine didn't join NATO?
Not yet verified that. We have not yet verified the Russian military units are returning to their home bases. Indeed, our analysts indicate that they remain very much in a threatening position. And the fact remains, right now, Russia has more than 150,000 troops encircling Ukraine and Belarus and along Ukraine's border. An invasion remains distinctly possible. That's why I've asked several times that all Americans in Ukraine leave now before it's too late.
Like, people will come into the America Deserve 9/11 guy stream to be like, why aren't you literally repeating what I saw on CNN? And it's so fucking strange. Dog,